Life is good indeed. Yes, it is. We somehow managed to get two main event picks right in a row. We had ourselves kind of a boring card, 11 decisions, only two finishes on the whole entire card. But we're here to break it down, go over every single fight, and give our reactions, starting from the very first fight of the early prelims. I got a new camera set up this video, so let me know how you guys feel about this. But we go into the very first fight, the women's fight, Talita Alansar versus Julia Pola. I still don't know how to say this woman's name. I'm so sorry. But point is, I got this one right. I didn't give too much thought on this one, but I did pick Talita as an underdog. All right. Because as you know, here at the Casual MMA Show, we appreciate value and we like putting money in your pockets, even though I myself lose a lot of money. Not actually, but yeah, man, striking was pretty close. Toledo over here got a couple takedowns. And with these type of fights, that's usually all it takes to sway the judges. All right, little fight to start off the card. We move on to Max Griffin versus Victor Venezuela. Kind of a heart-wrencher of a fight with Victor's post-fight speech. Made me feel a little better about getting this one wrong. I just thought that Max Griffin was going to be able to craft it up. Victor got completely brutalized in his UFC debut. I still find it interesting that the guy that beat him still has not debuted, but I guess that's strength of schedule for you. But yeah, man, Victor Valenzuela basically just landed the better shots. It was actually somewhat of a decently close fight, but yeah, Max Griffin, man, I mean, 40 years old. Sadly, the theme of this card and at least the last couple cards, the last couple weeks has been the unks still have it. At least sometimes they do. Unless you're Max Griffin, we're just never that elite in the first place. Then you're gonna have this guy who's just who's not that good just get past you. For Max Griffin, man, I don't know who the hell they give him. Victor Valenzuela, man, who do you give him on the outside rankings at welterweight? I don't know, because you know what? Run it back with Michael Oliveira on the Contender Series. But no, man, I mean, seriously, like they should just, sign him. He's a tough dude, hopefully he can have some fun fights in the future. But we move on to Francis Marshall versus Lucas Brennan. We're really going to be speed running through this because this one, again, I didn't put too much thought into it. I picked Francis Marshall because Francis Marshall is absolutely mogging and also just his build. I mean, this guy just has he's like ridiculously shredded. And yeah, Lucas Brennan just could not do anything. He seemed to be, I didn't know too much about him going into this fight, but watching it, he clearly seems to be kind of a little bit more of a wrestler, jiu-jitsu kind of dude, but he got all of his takedowns stuffed. And in fact, Francis Marshall got a couple takedowns of himself. So if your game plan is to take this dude down and you're getting reversed and taken down, just not a good look, man. He got absolutely demolished by Francis Marshall. This is now a couple wins for Francis Marshall. So, let's give him a real challenge outside the rankings at lightweight, How about Ignacio Bahamondes? That could be a decent fight. So let's see that next. Or we move on to Rafael Filodo versus Cody Durden. Filodo over here disappointed me. Second pick I got wrong on the card. I think I only got 3, maybe 4 picks wrong, which is not the worst that I've done. At least I got the main event right, which is what mattered. But yeah, man, Filodo over here, I mean, just horrible performance. This guy, he gave trouble to Muhammad Makayev, was a massive favorite in this fight, has beaten some dudes at flyweight. I forget who else he lost to. He lost to someone else at flyweight, but he's beating pretty decent people. I'm pretty sure he has a win over Ode Osborne. And Cody Durden, on the other hand, has just been losing to everyone, it seems like. He's probably lost out of his last 5 fights. I think he's lost like 4 of them. And the one guy he beat, I don't even remember. It was probably a smudge victory. I think that's exactly what happened. So it's like nobody expected this. Everyone expected Cody Durden to just go out there and get knocked out, but had a little bit of that wrestler craft, was just out scrambling Filo in certain moments. And yeah, man, he was just outclassing him on the ground. You would think that this guy would be better on the ground, but yeah, man, it's just not a good performance by Filo. And man, that's just horrible losing to Cody Durden. I'm not really sure who you give Cody Durden next because it's like, you can't give him someone who's like that tough at flyweight. I gotta actually start thinking about the matchmaking because I think it's really interesting, trying to guess who they're gonna go up against next. But again, Cody Durden is one of those guys where I thought he was gonna lose this fight and get cut. So I'm not really sure who you give him. Definitely not Malcolm Wellmaker. Again, like I said in my predictions video, I cannot believe they were gonna feed this man to Malcolm Wellmaker. Yeah, just absolute craziness. But yeah, I get this one wrong. but it is what it is. We move on to Moreno Bueno Silva versus Michelle Montague. I got this pick correctly, but it was getting a little hairy there. Moreno Bueno Silva had a good showing in the first round. Michelle Montague, I mostly just picked her just because she had more momentum. She's undefeated. Moreno Bueno Silva, ever since she kind of popped and, for that Holly Holm fight, it's kind of ironic that she got a title shot off of Holly Holm and she ended up popping for some kind of, I don't know, steroids or some kind of PED in that fight. Ever since that, man, her career has just gone absolutely downhill. Lost her title fight to Rocky Pennington and then it's just been losing, losing, losing. And yeah, I picked Michelle Montague simply for that reason, even though Michelle Montague, I'm pretty sure she was like in the PFL, but this is the casual MMA show. We're not watching the PFL on casual MMA. But yeah, man, Michelle Montague, I mean, you could really tell she came from the PFL because holy crap, her striking was ugly. It was horrible. There were moments up in the feet where Bueno Silva would pressure her up against the fence and just start absolutely teeing off on her. And there were some moments there that were kind of hairy. And this is why I said that Bueno Silva was a pretty good underdog. Right now, it's saying that she was like a plus 350 underdog, but I feel like she was a way bigger underdog than that, like a week before the fight or the week of the fight. So, if you would have watched the first round and you would have put your money on her, like I wouldn't have blamed you. But yeah, she definitely, in my opinion, clearly lost rounds 2 and 3. She was getting controlled on the ground. She was getting punched in the face. I mean, it's a fist fight. What else is there to say? Bueno Silva, man, like, maybe one more fight at women's bantamweight. Like, again, like maybe a rematch with Holly Holm. Let's get Holly Holm back in the UFC. Fuck it. Yeah, Michelle Montague. I don't know, man. It's women's bantamweight. I don't know enough women's bantamweights. We move on to Jackson McKee versus Cedricus Dumas. Good old Cedrics, our favorite felon. Jackson McVeigh, the Moose, was massive. This dude is freaking huge. I guess, looking at his stats, I mean, yeah, like, he clearly is cool. They just don't give me the stats. That's cool. But whatever. I mean, he's clearly a massive dude. You saw that looking at him in the cage. I was like, holy crap. Even the commentators are like, this dude's massive. And yeah, man, Cedric Dumas, he's just not very good. I'm surprised this man has not gotten cut from the UFC yet. I mean, he got caught with like this awkward, like shovel hook uppercut thing from Jackson McVeigh. Jackson McVeigh, I'm pretty sure, got clipped as well, but had the better chin. Knocked Cedric Dumas and then got him in a Darce choke. Was nasty. Cedric Dumas, I don't know what they're gonna do with this man. I mean, I thought they were gonna cut him, but I guess he's saying that he's apparently getting another fight and it's gonna be at welterweight. And I'm like, dude, at welterweight, Cedric Dumas is getting sent. He's getting sent to the shadow dimension. All right, he is getting sent into orbit at welterweight. I mean, I don't know. Middleweight is already like not the most skilled division ever. I mean, they're pretty skilled, don't get me wrong. But like compared to welterweights, I feel like welterweights are just it's a whole different thing. It's a whole different division. And he's not exactly like a small middleweight Cedric Dumas. He just sucks. I mean, the only reason they probably even have this guy on the roster is just because they can pay him like 10 and 10 to show up and he probably takes that money. That's probably why he has to resort to armed robbery and he's been arrested like 10 times for that. Because they just give him, and most of the time he's not even getting his full check. He's getting half the check. He's probably getting 10K and it gets taxed and he has to give it to his coach or whatever, right? So that's probably why they have this man still on the roster on the payroll. He's just a complete jobber, absolute jobber. I mean, I'm not even sure if he was supposed to win his freaking Contender Series fight. It's probably also the fact that he's like a gangbanger and it's just entertaining to just watch this guy go out there. And it's not even like he has like a funny like hood style like Bobby Green. Like he just like sucks. I've seriously never seen anything impressive from Cedric Dumas. He has a win in the UFC, but I am completely blanking on who it is because it was probably a nobody. And even though Jackson McVeigh over here has a loss to Zachary Reese, that loss to Zachary Reese showed more heart than anything that Cedric Dumas has done in his whole career. We move on to the feature fight of the prelims in Rodolfo Vieira versus Eric McConaughey. They called me crazy. They called me a madman for picking Eric McConaughey. Rodolfo Vieira was the massive favorite going into this. And I get it. I get it, guys. On paper, Rodolfo Vieira, he's a big guy. His striking, although it's not very good, I did say in my prediction video that he couldn't hurt a fly on the feet. Maybe that's not exactly the case. He has some power, some slickness, but these jiu-jitsu guys, man, it's like they're just not natural strikers. It's like he was looking okay in the first round, second round, third round. Eric McConaughey started crafting it up. And yeah, man, if you're getting like outcrafted by Eric McConaughey, it's like you just gotta work on your striking, man. Because if you can't get the grappling going, it's like what are you gonna do? Because it's like the amount of energy you're expending from shooting takedowns and trying to wrestle it's just insane. I mean, yeah, man, I just feel like the time of like specialists is just over. Ironically enough, the one guy who you could probably consider, I mean, there's probably a few guys you could consider like a specialist that's like successful, but like one of the only guys that is just really good at one thing that's still successful is Aljamain Sterling, who's we're going to talk about later in the video. But yeah, man, Rodolfo Vieira just got not necessarily outclassed, but yeah, man, he was he just did not look good on the feet. Although he did land a couple takedowns, but he also shot like at least over 10 times. I'm not sure how many times he shot, but it probably massively seeped his gas tank because he was looking exhausted by the end of the fight. As UFC fighters, how do we not just figure out conditioning? George St. Pierre figured this out like years ago in the freaking like dinosaur ages of MMA, where like it's just about efficiency. Like, unless you're Marab, there's no reason to be shooting more than 10 takedowns a fight. Like if takedown gets stuffed, you might have to resort to something else, or you just gotta buck up and, set up your takedowns a little better. But then again, I'm saying that sitting in my comfy chair with my man boobs and my Coca-Cola and my I don't know what the hell I'm saying. But yeah, I get this one right. Surprisingly so. We move on to the main card with Marcus Buchecha versus Ryan Spann. Performance of the night for Ryan Spann as well. Gets a nasty knockout. It's like we just woke up. Holy crap, we can actually get finishes. I mean, yeah, Jackson McVeigh got a Darce choke, which was pretty sick. But we get a knockout. Not only that, it was a pretty sick knockout. Nasty right hand from Ryan Spann. Marcus Buchecha, man, look, it was the same reasoning with Rodolfo Vieira, but even less so, because Rodolfo Vieira, I think, is actually pretty decent. So, like, that one I was a little nervous about. I could see how he was such a big favorite. But, my reasoning was he's a jiu-jitsu nerd. Jiu-jitsu nerds, no heart, no strength, no power, no bitches, all right? So, and the same thing happened here, right? Same line of thinking. And Marcus Buchecha is like a multiple time, like BJJ world champion. And yeah, it just doesn't matter because he can't secure a win in the UFC. He just can't. He got absolutely knocked out by a fat, out of shape Ryan Spann. Even he said it in his post fight interview. It's like, holy crap, I look out of shape and flabby. And he did. He looked like Rampage Jackson in that fight with Fedor. Just not a good look. But hey, I mean, he got a sick knockout. I mean, Ryan Spann at heavyweight, dude. Like, I mean, he's pretty dang good. Well, not pretty dang good, but I feel like this is definitely a better division for him than light heavyweight. In terms of who you give him next, I mean, you might as well give him a ranking spot. I mean, if you really want to, dude, if you really want to just go for it, I mean, why not give him Tausch and Teixeira? I mean, yeah, it's like low in the rankings. I feel like that's fair for Ryan Spann because clearly, Ryan Spann is not the greatest fighter. There are holes in his game, but he's powerful. He's super, super powerful. So you can match him up with like any heavyweight, in the top, like in the bottom 5 of the 15. And he'd match up pretty well with them, I think. Yeah. And I see some fun fights for Ryan Spann in the future. Although if he does end up cracking that top 10, I see his chin getting absolutely cracked. I don't see him getting higher than that, but, he should give us some fun fights. We move on. Holy Unk Fest. Montel Jackson versus Ronnie Barcelos. Unk still has it, man. Unk still has it. I get this pick right. Yeah, man, it was exactly what I said in my prediction. Montel Jackson, he's looking for that big shot. And he did end up knocking down Ronnie Barcelos in the first round. But yeah, it was just one of those fights where like he couldn't get him out of there. Yeah, Ronnie Barcelos started to craft it up, clinching, and he had a lot of visible damage on his face, which was kind of crazy. And I think overall Montel Jackson outlanded him, but Ronnie Barcelos was just clinching, taking him down. I think that really said a lot to the judges. Ronnie Barcelos gets a great win, is on a 5-fight winning streak, and is finally in the rankings. Holy crap. Cats and dogs must be living together because I never expected a world where Ronnie Barcelos was going to be ranked. The title run starts now, I'm telling you. No, for real. Like, Ronnie Barcelos, his chin is going to get cracked eventually. Let's see a rematch with him and Umar, all right? Him and Umar Nurmagomedov. Nah. That would probably go horribly for him. We move on to apparently what was fight of the night in Davy Grant versus Adrian Luna Martinetti. So I don't really get how this was fight of the night. I mean, it was a no, it was a decent fight. It was a pretty good fight actually. You know, looking back, it was a good fight. So I could see how they give it fight of the night. But I was just really annoyed at Adrian Luna Martinetti. I mean, yeah, I got my pick wrong, but it was mainly just I don't know, man. Like he was just not. I just feel like he was just not doing enough. They both threw a lot of strikes, but I just don't understand how you're losing to a 40-year-old. And granted, he's crafty, but losing to a 40-year-old Davy Grant at bantamweight, in the Big 20 is just it hurts, man. Like, come on. Not really much to say. I got this one wrong. Third one I got wrong. Leading right into the very next one and the last one that I got wrong on this card with Rafa Garcia versus Alexander Hernandez. Man, Alexander Hernandez just really struggles with anyone who isn't a complete sitting duck on the feet. Alexander Hernandez is just really weird because he's just one of these guys, and it's like what I said in my prediction video. Blah, blah, blah. He loses to guys that like he really shouldn't be losing to, and Rafa Garcia has clearly proved that he is pretty decent. There's something a little sus about him. I don't know exactly how to explain it, but I don't know, man. Sometimes he just seems extra, extra strong. He might be on that sauce. Who knows? I've heard things through the grapevines, but no, he is pretty good. I'll give him that. Before I was really writing him off, and I'm saying, who the hell is this guy? He beat Jared Gordon, but he wouldn't have won that fight if Jared Gordon didn't get hit by a freaking car. I was just kind of coping, yeah, man. And the thing is also is that Alexander Hernandez, it's like he just has such a style that just it leads to him taking a lot of damage sometimes in fights because he's always doing this thing where like he's this shorter guy, but like he's basically trying to like stand on the outside and then lead you into a big right hand. Kind of like what he did with Chase Hooper. And it worked with Chase Hooper because Chase Hooper can't freaking strike, at least can't strike with elite strikers. And Alexander Hernandez isn't even that elite. He's one of these guys who's just really explosive. He moves a lot, but it's like weird. Like when it comes down to it, he's just really not that good because he gets hit a lot and he gets outclassed by guys who are just more traditional, more fundamental. And I mean, that's what Rafa Garcia did. I mean, he just stuck to his fundamentals. He kept it simple and yeah, man, it was kind of a war. I'm not going to lie, but I feel like Rafa Garcia definitely got the better of Alexander Hernandez. Alexander Hernandez just can't, his face was just completely beat up, but he was landing some decent shots. But like, I guess he just can't take damage that well anymore, unfortunately. Or maybe it's just the Mexican genes, bruh. Mexican genes. They don't get cut. We move on to the co-main event in Jocelyn Edwards versus Norma Dumont. I lied. I got this one wrong as well. I guess I got a couple of these fights wrong, unfortunately. But this one, man, I still feel good about it. I mean, can I really even consider this one a wrong pick? Overall, I can't really be mad at this decision because I actually really like Jocelyn Edwards. And unlike Norma Dumont, she goes out there and she actually finishes girls. She's exciting. So I'm happy that she got such a big win. Norma Dumont, man, I mean, that was crazy. I don't know how she thought she won that fight. It was like somewhat close. Like, yeah, she had like the cleaner striking, but she just was not landing as much or the more impactful shots like Jocelyn. I mean, Jocelyn was pressing forward the entire time and she was throwing big combinations. And even if only like the last like couple shots would like just barely clip Norma, I mean, she was showing a lot more to the judges. It seemed like she just wanted to win. Norma Dumont was like out there like playing around, smiling. It was like a sparring session for her. And then, she was so confident that she won. I think it was really her corner that was telling her that she was up, which was just crazy to me. I don't know how she thought she won that though. I mean, she was backing up the whole time. Yeah, she was landing a couple good strikes, but it's like, I don't know, man. That shit was just that shit was cringe. Jesus Christ. But yeah, man, I mean, for once we're happy that the judges got one of these fights right because I feel like if this was any other women's fight, they would have given this to Norma Dumont because she landed a couple of takedowns. But yeah, Jocelyn Edwards was the aggressor. She landed the better shots, so she clearly deserved this win. I'm happy for Jocelyn Edwards. And yeah, man, let's give her a bigger step up at bantamweight. I mean, like she just beat the number 3. If they really, really wanted to, like, they could have Jocelyn Edwards honestly fight for a title already with how like shallow bantamweight is, after they deal with the whole Amanda Nunes, Kayla Harrison situation, like really who else at bantamweight is like really up, No one. I mean, Jocelyn Edwards is over here on a win streak, and not only a win streak, she is finishing these girls other than this most recent fight. But Yeah, man, I'm really, really high on Jocelyn Edwards. And yeah, honestly, boring fight. But hey, it was a total cake off. So I'll forgive it. We move on to the main event of the evening in Aljamain Sterling versus Yusuf Zalal. Just complete domination from Aljamain Sterling. Yusuf Zalal, I like the dude a lot. I think he's really cool. Great post fight speech from him, keeping it positive. And yeah, he actually managed to take a round off of Aljo, which is crazy. He didn't really do too much in, I think it was the third round. He ended up reversing, like, scrambling and getting on top of Aljo. Did threaten with a guillotine, which was pretty dang tight, but we ain't tapping the guillotines in high level MMA. All right, we ain't tapping the gillies, let alone Aljamain Sterling. I mean, Jesus, man. Aljamain Sterling's wrestling is just ridiculous. It's so overwhelming. And it's like he's really one of these guys who's like a modern day specialist. Like his striking is okay, but it's like it's really just good enough to get to where he wants to be, which is the grappling. And like in my opinion, his grappling is it's better and more technical than someone like Marab, his training partner. And it's just crazy to me. I mean, he's so ridiculously good at what he does, which is just getting you down and getting on your back, backpacking you either to a decision or, hey, sometimes he can get that submission, which is sick to see. I still think he's a little bit of a goofy, but man, I mean, you can't deny him anymore. Honestly, in my opinion, I feel like he deserves the next title shot after Movzar. But if you really want to give Aljamain Sterling another fight, you could give him another top contender like Diego Lopez. I think Diego Lopez would be a great matchup for Aljo. I feel like Aljo would beat Diego Lopez. He'd do probably really well in that fight. But Diego Lopez does have good jiu-jitsu. Or like a Gene Silva. I also think Aljamain Sterling would probably destroy Gene Silva. But I kind of would like to see a Gene Silva matchup because just praying for a Gene Silva knockout. Imagine a flush knee on Aljo in the year 2026. That would be pretty incredible. But yeah, man, not something that I would want to go up against. Just absolutely overwhelming force is Aljamain Sterling. And if you put money on him, you're going to be very happy. Again, like I said in my predictions video, how the hell was this man an underdog? All right, yeah, Yusuf Salal, he submitted Josh Emmett. Okay. Like Aljo is a former champ, man. Like, come on. And yeah, man, like, his wrestling is just so good. I think the only person who can even match him in the wrestling is Mozar. And it's like, who knows what that fight would have looked like, before Aljo got that surgery. Because even though he is still performing really well, even after having a fake vertebrae, it's like, whether you like to admit it or not, that's definitely affecting him. But that's just that championship mindset, knowing that you're being hindered or impeded in some way and just still pushing through it. I mean, I can give Aljo that, man. I mean, in some ways, he really is a savage. So happy to see where he goes next in this stacked featherweight division. Next week, we're going to have to be night owls because we're going to be staying up till 3 a.m. just to watch the prelims, or at least you guys are, because I'm a casual and I'm going to be watching this on Sunday. So sorry if my reaction video comes a little late. Sorry that this reaction video was a little late, but I promise I'll get these videos out quicker. And if you want to leave a comment or leave a like, that would be much appreciated. Subscribe if you want to be notified about my newest videos, and I will see you guys later. Oh, by the way, the main event was JDM versus CP.